she live?
Are you live? I always forget.
We're live now.
Okay, call the meeting to order. Would you do the roll call? Donna?
Were we just going to say our names?
Yeah.
Go through that way? Okay. Donna Graham.
Jeff Titter?
Dennis Oliver?
Bonnie Post.
Lori Purdue.
All right. And Carla Stewart, Alderman
Stewart.
Liaison. Thank you. Do we have an approval of the minutes from last month, or a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, Jeff Titter makes the motion. Do we have a second or any discussion? I guess second has to come first, doesn't it?
Second it.
All right, second by Donna. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Doesn't look like we have any public participation. New business. So this is just going over what was talked about Tuesday night, is that right?
Yes.
Last Tuesday? Okay. So attendance counting, Jeff and I and Kelly were here Tuesday night for the aldermanic meeting last Tuesday. And I explained to them the way we keep track of the attendance. And then they did get a copy of the sheet that they keep on the computer that talks about the log, that talks about the date, the weather on that day, how many people were there, how much money we collected, and if there was any special events going on in the community or not. So at that point, they stated that they were happy with that, and we would continue on with that. And after we've been open a year, then we would take a look at those records and see if, hey, Wednesday's not very good attendance. Let's close Wednesday and open Monday and see how that goes, and then we'd keep track of that. So, so at this point, I think we're good with that. Any other comments or anything?
Yeah, I'll chime in. So whenever I had asked if we were keeping hourly counts, it was so if and when the museum changes from, say, 10 to 4 every day that they're open to noon to 7 or something, that those hourly counts are supporting. Maybe you don't need to be open between 10 and 11, but you do need to be open later in the day. I feel like some of the people that I have been talking to, and they are tax-paying residents, are saying if they can't get to Red Cedar on Saturday, then their kids are in school and they work, so 10 to 4, they cannot go. So I just think we need to keep that in mind, and if we don't know hourly how many adults or how many children are in there, or where they necessarily came from, where they're visiting from.
So here's what I said to the board, and I will stand behind that. Until we get somebody that sits there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week out front and counts the number of people that want to come in and can't, or those people start calling Kelly and telling her, we want to come in at this time, but we can't because you're closed, there's no way for us to know if we're right or wrong.
These folks may not understand who to call.
Okay.
Or
Are you letting them know that they can call Kelly?
Absolutely.
Okay, then I say that's the step in the right direction. There's nothing, we will never ever have an accurate idea, a 100% accurate idea by just taking attendance hourly while we're there, because we're missing the most important
I'm not
people.
saying, personally, I'm not saying for myself, I'm not saying by hour, only by hour, because you do have the door counter, and I understand that programs are being kept track. Well, what I went to the program the other night, the Ben Brown. So how were you just counting bodies when they came in?
I did, yes. There was
And
21.
is there a way to reach out to the people that came to the program later if we have another program? Emails, phone numbers, addresses, anything like that?
Well, I think we're getting off the subject. That's fine.
attendance.
There's two different things there. I mean, let's talk about the attendance, how to track that, because that's what we were originally talking about, and then we can move on to the other portion. But there's no way for us to accurately 100% say these are the hours we need to be open. We're doing the best we can. We're keeping track of daily attendance, which is what the city administration asked for, and that's what we're doing. So how are, us tracking the daily attendance by the hour, what's that going to tell us? It's going to tell us that we have this many people during the day, but it doesn't tell us that we're missing this many people.
That maybe a certain hour of the day is not as heavily trafficked, and that you could skew the hours to have maybe one later night. I see Kelly included in our packet the comparison with other museums, and there is a museum there, at least one listed,
Yep.
that has a late night.
I agree with that.
To say that we are locked into 10 to 4 every day that we're open is closed-minded.
We didn't say that. I never said we're locked in. I said we are tracking it, and at the end of the year, we're going to take a look at it and see if we want to change it at that point in time. Here's the question. What do you want them to stop doing so that they can sit there and tally? Oh, there's 3 people walked in now. They're busy. If you find somebody to sit down there every day and volunteer and keep track of it, we'll gladly do it. But they're busy. They're not sitting there waiting for people to walk in.
That seems closed-minded to me. I've worked several jobs where you track either by tick marks who's coming in, or they have the door counter. I didn't even know that the door counter existed until late in the game. I really didn't, that was being counted that way. It was never verbally said. So, now we know that at least the door counter is there.
And that was been there from day one, hasn't it?
It has.
Absolutely has.
It has.
Yeah, which,
Yep.
And I've given attendance numbers at multiple meetings.
Well,
But it was said that it was because of the people signing in.
No.
Yes, at meetings, I asked,
Okay.
I specifically asked, and it was that they were signing the log.
They
That
are
was the
signing
only-
the log.
Some
Not
sign-
everybody
Not
signs the
everybody,
log.
no, but my point was that she did say that they are signing the log. They sign the log, there's the tracker, and they take attendance based on the electronic tracker.
This is a year of learning, this first year. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but if you're finding that there are lags in time or days where there's just not enough people to support 2 people possibly sitting there, the taxpayers want to know, I don't want to lose Red Cedar. I don't want to lose
Well,
the museum. And they're going to have possibly the swimming pool, the skate park, and Red Cedar. I want Red Cedar to stay.
Well, we all want Red Cedar to
Bonnie?
stay.
what hours would you like to see it open?
10 to 4 is fine. I think one evening later, just skew the hours a little bit, one
So
later.
which evening?
So that,
Which evening? I mean, if they call you and say, hey, I can't make it on Tuesday, so could you close Tuesday and open Wednesday? I mean, we're playing a guessing game the whole time.
Right.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
they can't make it every Saturday. They can't make it every Sunday. I
I'm
think,
not sure.
we don't know what we don't know. I'm just saying, we're not going to please every single person. There's no way that we're going to please people, every person.
okay, that's,
But Kelly, don't you have it set up for example, you've had some homeschool people come.
Oh, absolutely.
And can they call you and tell you, look, I'm coming over with, 30 kids, or do they just show up?
They just show
They
up.
just show up?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'll ask a question. So the library tracks?
We have a tracker just
Attendance.
like theirs, but we don't track it by the hour.
But you keep records of programs and those kinds of things
Yeah.
also?
Yeah, just like she does.
Okay.
Yeah, we both keep track of it. And our tracker it's not that accurate, but it at least gives us, a round idea each day. At the end of the night, we write it on the calendar, so we know how many people were in that day.
And
So,
Joe Shaper
but
had,
ours is not.
she called Missouri State Parks, and he came out, and we do the same thing that they do. So,
Yeah, and that's the park at Lewis Road.
yes, and he's a park superintendent for St. Louis Parks, so.
Yeah.
Am I allowed
that's
to
how we
speak?
keep
I-
track
I'm
of
new
it.
at this, so I don't know. Am I allowed to speak?
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah,
you're allowed to speak.
absolutely.
You're not allowed to vote.
Yeah, we're not, and I can't vote, but we can talk.
Okay. I'm down there a lot, even when Monday or Tuesday, I'll drop in, we sit and, just do different things, but she's down in the Red Cedar, so, and if anybody does come in, it's not that often on Monday or Tuesday because they read that it's not open, but if anyone does happen to come by, she lets them in and she does count it. That's why the one day it said 5 on a Tuesday. You're right, they're very busy, but there's usually somebody sitting at the front desk and so nothing else. Greet them, talk to them, tell them whatever, if they have any questions or do anything, whether it's a worker or, they may be working from the front desk. Vicky got up and took pictures of this motorcycle group that came in. So there's people there that are, greeting the people, and there's somebody always there. But with that being said, and I think to some extent, you're not going to be able to tell at 7 o'clock if there's a bus that stops at 7, one night. That you don't know. I mean, you can take and you can put the 10 to 5, and then people will read once they get used to it's 12 to 5 or 10 to 5, then they may rush in there that last hour or whatever. But they're going to see somewhere where it's open. Anyway, I do when I travel, is if I think I'm wanting to stop somewhere, I look to see when it's open and when I can stop there. Now, the local people, I don't know what to tell them.
And Dennis did make a point. I mean, we're open every Saturday, every Sunday. I understand if the residents are busy one of the, or two of those Saturdays, you would hope there would be another day that they can make. I think when it comes down to opening longer or not, it's all going to be down to staffing and the dollars. Can the city give more money for staffing? So she can hire somebody that can work in the evenings or something like that.
I'm not saying
but-
extend hours. I'm saying just shift, yes.
But the thing is that Kelly has things during the day, 8:30 to 5 or whatever your hours are, that she has to do besides be at the museum. And the other people are part-time, so they might have other jobs or something like that they have to go to, that they might not be able to work in the evening. So that's, I think.
And I get, it would be, you could tell if there's from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, if nobody came in, that nobody started coming in till 11. But I think they're gonna know, eventually when they get down there, maybe the night, if they start having a night, they have a speaker, then have that night just the normal night that you're gonna be open later.
So here's one thing, I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, I just want to say that's one reason why I kind of wanted to have the meetings at the Red Cedar, is that we could be open during that time when we're having the meeting. And people could come attend our meeting and maybe stay and look around, or come in before our meeting
Yeah.
and look around. That's one reason why I would like to
Let's-
had the meetings at Red Cedar.
Where does that stand? We'll come back to it. but
Well,
where
I
does
don't
that-
want to get off of this subject
Right.
until
Right.
that.
I
Until,
agree.
So,
Yeah.
so anyway, the one thing that I'm looking at is we shift the hours for the local people and go later at night. Well, I'm traveling and I get here I get up in the morning. I'm like, let's get on the road, let's head out. And I show up here at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and all of a sudden, oh, it's closed now. So boom, now we're missing travelers that this is their one and only time to try to get to us. So that way we can satisfy people that live here and should be able to find
Not-
time to come in.
Not just residents. I mean,
Well, but you said it
think-
was residents, taxpayers.
it was that I
Okay.
had talked to,
So-
but
So my suggestion is that we're still
In infancy.
yes, and we haven't been open a year. Let's get through, I would say, the busy season of tourism and see where their numbers lie. And maybe there can be adjustments made, not that there will be, but I think we need to slowly look at this. And there could be changes, but not that they're necessary, but we need to get through this, at least the busy season this year, the first real season that we're open during tourism season, so.
Exactly, that's what I've been after.
that I will say, in support of that, that is why I am asking the question now during this first year especially. I'm not saying always, but I do think it will give you a better idea. And like I said, I've done it at jobs, and I'm coming from the military side of the house, so maybe they're just more strict. But we absolutely kept track of attendance in library, gym, community centers, all kinds of facilities to know what the best hours for the public were, or for the,
And something though, you got to remember too, these other museums that, I don't know how many of them are city sponsored. I mean, St. Clair isn't, Union isn't, that Iron Spike isn't, Washington.
No.
I mean, they are privately funded and privately, so they do whatever they want or whatever their volunteers can do. And sometimes that's probably better than what you can do when you're government funded. But you got to take all that into consideration too.
Right. Okay. All right, so then
I think Bonnie,
yeah,
so-
about the
the
meetings.
meetings, I think the last was that we had to be able to find a way to live stream them, I guess.
Yeah. And we don't have that capability at this time.
Right, so I think that was the holdup, and I don't know the live stream was the issue, and I don't know what we could use. I think they talked about that it couldn't be a cell phone, it had to be a computer
Or a
or a laptop,
or
or something like that,
I think Tiffany went out there with them.
so
check.
the last I knew, the issue was the live stream.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know where it's at.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Old business, historical plaques.
I reached out, I had Ben Ziegler come out this past week to try to get me another round of quotes so that we can have 3 quotes, because we have Bruns and then we'll have Ziegler. And then I reached out to somebody online, but I apparently put in the wrong email address to them. So I kicked back, and Jeff actually found my mistake in it. So we sent it back. So hopefully I'll have another round just to be like, hey, is this the best deal that we've got? And also just because anything over $1,000 has to have 3 bids.
Right.
you're getting a quote from Ziegler for these historical plaques? Okay.
And so he's going to give us 2 quotes, one for the small porcelain ones, and then one for the aluminum ones. And we've got the quotes from Bruns for the plaques and for the aluminum ones. So I'll just need one more.
Okay.
And hopefully we can get that really soon, because I'd like to at least if we can get a few of them done this month, with the budget that we have, that would be fantastic. And then we did ask for 30,000 for next year. The board, does budget approval on Tuesday night, so I think that's when we'll find out if we receive that or not. Maybe not, maybe I've been corrected, they may not, on that, we'll know by the end of June.
Are you able to get the plaques for the buildings and the plaques for the lots, the bigger plaques from the same
That's what we're working
Yeah,
on.
that's what-
place?
So, yeah, well, and that's, I have to have 3 quotes for each one, just
Oh,
because they're
okay.
2 different projects, but, Mike, he literally, Ben just sent me the quotes for, I don't know what that one is.
When you all were
Yeah.
talking about that last meeting, and I was out of the country, so, Lieber's Hall was not on that list that I thought that you had for the,
Right.
Okay.
It's on the list,
It's-
but we haven't got the research
So
completed.
when
to make sure.
I was just thinking of the 4 main ones, not that, those
Okay,
were the
okay.
4 only ones.
that's the only
Oh, I-
4 I
Yeah,
heard.
no,
Okay.
no, there's others around town that I would like, but those are just
Right.
4 off the
Okay,
top of my head that I
just
can
wanted
think
to
of. Right.
make sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you guys were talking about that the 12, there's been, what, 12 initially picked?
That we have all the,
Who picked those
the
buildings?
people who actually got the research done. Those are the only ones we got the research completed on.
With the research and the pictures and stuff.
Okay. I guess I just thought that that list would come here and that we would be able to pick, prioritize.
Well, unfortunately, you know.
Let me ask this, can you send me those 12?
Sure.
It was already sent in an email, and you asked last time, but I can resend it.
What, I guess I don't know what you're
You-
referring to.
You had asked what ones we were gonna put it on.
But the reason why those 12 were chosen is just because they were able to get that research completed. And so, since they're completed, we would be able to get them put up. If we're gonna wait and do certain ones in certain orders, well, I mean, it may
I
take
just want
longer
to
to do
know what
research.
12 are the initial, I guess. I don't know that information,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I will resend you that
Yeah.
email.
Yeah,
It was in an email, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
yeah.
What it was, but I mean, again, hopefully with Alderman's blessing that this isn't a one and done year, that there will be more,
Right.
going
Sure,
forward.
sure.
So,
Yep.
so I think it's
I know there was Royal Theater, there was the.
Quonset hut, wasn't there?
The
No.
Quonset hut, the black school, I'm sorry, but, I don't know.
The B.F. Allen School.
B.F. Allen School. And then, Red Cedar, the,
Your building.
my building, and that is because I actually
Bought a plaque.
bought a plaque. And then, the railroad, yeah, depot, thank you. That's 6.
I just, if you can, I just want to, I don't know I don't know what this list, where it came from. I mean, I know what the buildings were, because I initially submitted the 30 or 40 buildings, but I don't know which ones have been picked for the first round of
That's fine, I can
plaques.
resend you the email that I sent to you.
Okay. All right.
Those 12 were probably picked because we had the most research on them.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
That was the quickest
Right.
thing
Yeah,
they
quickest,
could
yeah.
get.
Rather than
That's
having
exactly
to
right.
wait until we had more
Exactly.
information. It was already there, ready to go.
Yep, yep.
And it was research that had been done through genealogy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
submitted for like 15 buildings, so I'm just curious.
Quite a bit of that information was incorrect, what you had submitted. Like one talked about Red Cedar, that we were looking at turning it into a welcome center.
Well, I
so-
said this needs to be double checked, so.
And that's what they're
Right,
doing.
so we have to
Yeah.
double check
Right.
all of it,
So that's what they're
because there
doing.
was information that was incorrect.
Yes.
I had sent back, I asked you to check with Sue, and I think you just got busy, so.
Okay.
That was what I had, so.
Okay. And so you're gonna resend that email?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking for it right now, so I
Thank
can
you.
send it to her.
The Allen School's got a bigger,
Yeah, was
It's-
hoping to get a.
And that
big
was,
flag.
and that was decided after
You're right.
we were, that was the initial
Right.
one.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to volunteers.
Still need volunteers.
Okay.
I did have somebody call today. I got the voicemail late and I didn't get a chance to call her back, but I'll be calling her first thing tomorrow.
Awesome.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Has anybody from the city been back in touch? This is reaching, I know, but if we just need manpower, to the prison to work with them again about manpower? They used to be, I thought,
I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking, because
When-
Steve Myers was trying to get him to like
Paint
do
the
the mowing and
hydrants.
stuff, and
No, paint the hydrants
and,
and things like that.
I
But
think the state pulled that. They don't do that anymore.
Beautification Committee had asked the question, but they were in the midst of a warden change. And they said, after the warden gets in, ask again. But
And
right
what
now,
would you
it's
have them
transition.
And what would you have them do?
Scan photos, enter obituaries, it'd be air conditioned, it would be, I mean, anything that we just can't seem to, it's just kind of labor intensive.
Yeah. Well, but wouldn't you have to have somebody there to supervise to be sure that?
The details I am not sure of, but apparently the city used to do it with certain tasks, so.
Correct, but I don't know. I think, if I remember, they did have to have somebody watch, or city had to have somebody responsible for them.
There would be a liability
Right,
issue, I'm sure.
and
I don't,
I don't think it would be I think if people, nothing against anybody that's incarcerated, but I think people would be concerned if they're going into a place where they know that there are
records.
Well, prisoners.
prisoners are
Prisoners
working
in-
or
yeah.
something, yes. So, I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, even
I don't
up
think
at the
about
genealogy center, perhaps? Anyway,
I mean,
it's just an idea.
It's an idea. I'm pretty sure, because I said something to Mr. Fowler, right? Fowler, about because Steve Meyer did want them to try to do the mowing to cut out that big expense. And I believe Mr. Fowler said that it was no longer an option. The state doesn't allow that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. But
So I don't know. Maybe they would allow this. I don't know. So,
well, they will have to have a guard with them, and they're just as shorthanded in the prisons as.
yeah, and that may be why they don't do it
Right,
anymore,
yeah.
is because they can't spare the manpower. But I mean, if I guess Debbie Baker has contact there, maybe we could have Debbie contact and see if that's a possibility.
I know that for cleanup day on Friday, there's 10 of them coming, but they're not prisoners. They're actually workers.
Workers, guards, or whatever. Yeah.
again, I know you're looking for volunteers, but I would have concerns about having people from the incarcerated persons from the prison at the Red Cedar working. I would.
But
You wouldn't want that to get out.
No. Now, what if, like Bonnie asked, what if they were at genealogy building? Would you still have?
I would still have
Okay.
concerns because,
I
yes,
would
that's
have
fine.
problems because then they have records of everybody.
Well, that's a
Okay,
good,
if they're
that's a
dead or
good
not.
point.
Somewhere they've been alive.
so.
There was the social security numbers being used,
They
right?
don't have those, but they have addresses and.
Okay, so, moving on to reports, Director of Tourism.
I really don't. Hang on, let me pull it up. Year to date, we are at 5,160 as of June 9th. I did not count folks from today. Still having a ton of travelers. Updates pretty much. We've had some successful events from the Citywide Garage Sale, podcast with Missouri Humanities. It can be found on Spotify. It runs about an hour, and we talk about Red Cedar, and we also talk a lot about Pacific. Ryan spoke at the Wildwood Historical Society on May 21st. He said there was 11 people in attendance.
I was there.
Yeah, Jeff was there, and so were Ryan's parents, so those were 3 out of the 11. The next day, we were in downtown St. Louis for Explore St. Louis Fest. It used to be called Be a Tourist in Your Own Town, so we were able to give out information about Red Cedar, about Pacific, about different things you can do in Pacific. And we did have travelers the very next day who said, we saw you yesterday, so we wanted to stop by. So that was cool. We hosted the chamber meeting the day after that. And then that was in the evening, like we didn't have to close early or anything for such. And then June 1st, we had our Kid Entrepreneur Day, which went over really well. We had Benjamin Franklin there from 12 to 3. He did a demonstration at 1. There's about 7 adults in attendance, but we went outside and got the kiddos and let the parents run the booth so the kids could come see it. And June 1st, we switched our rotating exhibit over to the Civil War. So our cases in the center are Civil War. And then we also have the interactive, which is down right now, but we'll be back up soon. And then we got a new diorama that Ryan created from scratch with the help of Jim Schwenkendorf to get as close as accuracy of the railroad as possible. So that's been great. We've had a few people come in bummed that trains weren't there anymore. So that was an interesting thing. June 6th, we had our speaker, Ben Brown, not the senator, at 5:30 on the Civil War. You would be surprised at how many people thought it was going to be the senator. I got emails. Total of 21 in attendance, not including any of us that were working. He wants to come back. We had a lot of positive feedback from those that stuck around and said, hey, we really enjoyed it. We had one lady say she could listen to him talk all day. Upcoming is citywide cleanup this Friday from 8 to noon. Look forward to seeing you all there. Missouri Humanities will be there at 1:30 at Red Cedar. They're going to start taking video, and they've got some people that they're going to interview. June 15th, Missouri Humanities will be back out at 8:30 in the morning to do more footage around town, and they're going to go to Bigfoot's open house. And then we'll have another booth at the car show. And the next event that we're working on right now is August 17th. We paired up with the police department and HAL to do a truck and safety fair that will be held at Liberty Field from 9 to 1. Projects are still a lot of the same that we're working on. We're getting closer to the downtown Veterans Walk on the light post banners. So we got an approval of which banner to use last night from the tourism. So now we're going to start going around seeing who wants to have. They would pay to sponsor a veteran on a banner, and then it would be down up and down St. Louis Street. We can't do it on First Street because that's a MoDOT road. And obviously, if you have a picture, we want to put the picture on it, but if it's a pixelated picture, we won't be putting that up there because we want to make sure that it's honored. And even though it's an older picture, that just doesn't look good. We're working on Osage light post banners. The designs were approved last night, but I have to still send to MoDOT and the school district for them. So goal is to have them ordered by the end of June. So hopefully we'll have them up by the end of July.
Question. If we have them on Osage, why can we not have them on First Street?
You cannot put pictures or like the ones on Osage are going to be very generic, like Route 66 or Pacific, Missouri, where downtown will have their name, picture. What MoDOT is concerned about is people reading everything and then they'll have an accident. So they don't even want, like, we can't say, oh, Bigfoot's sponsoring one. Can't do that either. So.
But yet we have we have more billboards in this state than any other state in the.
I mean, I'm talking about billboards, the one that's down there on Thornton and Hogan. You can tell the Jensen Point one is ripping. So there'll be a new design that goes up after the 4th of July when the fireworks one comes down. It says Explore Pacific, Missouri, and then it's got a couple different things on there.
What's the time frame for the veterans? Like, when do you expect them to be, I guess, up and then down?
I am hoping, well, we really want to make sure it's ready by 2026 because this was part of the Route 66 committee. But if we've got the money now, I'd like to do it sooner than later so that you already have it established and people can walk through it. Jeannie Banderman would love to do like a tour. And eventually, when we get our website going, we want to put possibly QR codes too so they could scan it and learn more about the individual if we have information on them. We may not have any information, but it would be a sticker that we would add versus it being on there because it can fade. And they're smaller size than the Osage one. That was a good question.
It will just be first come, first serve then?
Because we'll have up to 60 because there's going to be a different face on each side. So up to 60. I'm not sure if we'll get 60. If we do not, we're just going to put like thank you veterans on some of the additional banners. So we'll have a time frame of just a few weeks that you can submit your information, because if you haven't contacted us within like 3 weeks, then you're probably not going to. So we want to make sure it's out there. You have time to tell us, hey, we want to do this. Then you have time to find the picture that you would like to use. And of course, it has to be an appropriate picture. It needs to be there's still discretionary things that we can still say, being like, no, that can't go up there. We would prefer it to be in like a uniform or something of that sort.
Who takes the money for that? You? Mm-hmm. Red Cedar?
I
At
would-
Red Cedar?
It'll go right into tourism.
I think you'll get the 60, but
I hope so.
I do too.
I think it'll be great.
I think you'll probably have more, but
Well, and we're hoping to do, and our plan, and this may not happen, like, is to have it like by the wars or conflicts. So when you're walking down, this is one, and then we walk back, you'll see another round.
what's the cost?
It's like $100,
How much?
100, maybe a little bit less.
For as many people as came out and signed the Hero Nation mural, I would certainly think we'd get 60.
Yeah, we all hope so, because originally we were going to do 30, but then they said, why don't we do a different face on each side? And so we've talked to a couple different printers, obviously, sign experts, Zigwin, to see if that was something that would be okay, because we didn't want it to bleed through. And they all said it would be fine. So that's a project going on. The 2 large cases, the next rotation for them is going to be in late August, and the topics will be, one is Saving Shiloh, and the other one is Artist in and from Pacific. So we've had quite a few people ask us about Saving Shiloh and been sending us some information, so we want to make sure we put that out there.
I can draw.
Oh, and then Carla's going to donate this beautiful diamond she just made, and we'll put that in the case too. We're still looking for more people who want to do interviews about Pacific. We've only had like 14 that we've been able to do. Everybody else kind of has been saying no, or they don't have time. So that would go up on YouTube. And the sessioning is still going through everything in the basement, and it's being cleaned and putting in proper storage for preservation as each thing is taken out of the old tub it was in. So it's taking a long time to make sure we have all the tracking. Some of the sessioning wasn't done. It was done to the best of the ability of the past group. So with Ryan having that degree, he's able to teach us a little bit more, and we can make sure that we have all of that. All that information. So sometimes it takes a couple phone calls or emails, but we just received some napkins from, I think it was Joseph McHugh that did art, and a beautiful picture, and it was a guy from Arkansas, and he spent $185 to mail it to us. So he even sent me the receipt. So like we didn't.
It's a stack of napkins that tall.
Yeah, it's amazing. So that's one of the things that we want to do with some of the artists, because the napkins are really good. So it'll be a good thing to have. And it was cool that a guy in Arkansas was like, hey, we were just going to get rid of it unless you want it. So photos and newspaper digitization, obviously that's a big thing. Every time we get a chance, we just want to put that in, and then we have to name it so we know. We had the school, I think it was Rod Stewart, had asked for a picture of the community school back in the day, and luckily we had one picture that we had digitized, because otherwise you have to go through everything and find them. So we were able to send it to him because he needed it for the Missourian. They were doing a story on that.
Article.
That's cool.
It was a good article in there.
I love when that. Genealogy obits, still looking to complete them by the end of 2025. May go faster if we have volunteers. And then the Route 66 Centennial is a big thing that we're all working on. And we are going to wait till we hear what type of money we'll have, but we also will be trying to find grants. There are grants out there for Route 66 specifically for 2026. So we want to try to go that, but a lot of them are matching. So we're going to see what we have and what we can do. We're going to do the best we can. And we're still making contacts with different cities and communities such as Cuba and Lebanon, where they've got our information, we've got their information. Vicki went out to Amish country in Ohio this past weekend, so everywhere they stopped, they took flyers and dropped them off in those hotels. And then we are looking at doing something for the 90th anniversary for the Red Cedar, because that comes around in October. We don't know what yet. And then we'll be working on the rodeo here pretty soon too. So that's it. There's a lot going on. Every one of them are super busy, and so there's never dull moment over there.
The Route 66 Association aren't they affiliated with those signs that are like in front of Gray's Catering and that are a point of interest, Jensen Point? But does Red Cedar have a sign?
So we had one, but when the building was bought, the sign went away. But they have said that they're going to provide us with a new one. They're about $250, and they told us that this past September, that they were gonna get us a sign for Red Cedar.
Can I encourage us to make the motion I'll make the motion to do that, to get that signage? The point of interest, because then that gets us on the map, right?
Oh, yeah, well, we're also in the passport book, but if they're gonna pay for it, I mean, we can pay for one. But what are you asking? You're wanting the sign, the association said they're gonna buy us one.
The Route 66 Association
Yes.
said that they would buy Red Cedar sign. Okay.
Yes, they said that back in September.
Okay.
When they gonna buy it?
I don't know, that's a good question, I should ask that question.
I see the sign at Jensen Point, and if people are looking for, not that to me you would drive by Red Cedar, but if that signage was out front, then you would know that they are both
It would be cool.
places to stop.
Yeah, I think they're cool markers.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Good? Okay. Alderman Stewart, do you have anything for us?
No, you guys came to the meeting and got this accounting straightened out and haven't been down to the Red Cedar enough.
All right.
All right.
Too many meetings.
Yeah.
Oh,
well.
yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much. Any miscellaneous items, anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I was just at Red Cedar, I had asked Kelly what the signage was to get people's attention to know that the genealogy room is next door. And I would like, I'll volunteer can we put some sort of display in Red Cedar, maybe the bar area or somewhere, like a poster with maybe yearbooks or a few of the photos or something to get people's attention to know that the genealogy center is next door? Because right now it's 2 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. That's it. So if the people don't see that, so I'm asking for a display, is what I'm asking for.
She's asking that she'll do a display.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Good catch, Carla.
Yes, I will.
She will. She's a great artist.
I'm not opposed to that. I don't know that we want it in the bar because hopefully as their discussions go forward, we're going to have some sort of ice cream, food service, something over there. But I don't know that would be a bad idea to do something.
When does the women display go?
Well,
Is
probably
that-
end of August.
End of August? Is there, I mean,
So you
Not
just
the one corner,
want
like the
like a
doors here
sign
and
to
over
say
to
that
the
there's a
left.
A
genealogy
poster
department?
and then maybe some of the
Yeah, like you're coming
materials
right
that
past
people
the
would be
sign.
like, oh, they got yearbooks or, sorry, I don't mean to put my phone back to you.
How about, and you come in the door over to the left in that corner after you pass the sign
Anywhere
in?
just to get attention for people to know that that is available.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, yeah. Do we have a little table or something or bench or, I mean, they also have those, they're not flags, but you know, they've got a base and they go up and, you know,
An easel?
no, it's huh?
Out front?
Well, you can do it out front, you could do it there, you know, where it'd be like, you know, genealogy or something too, you know, I mean.
A directional thing to.
Well, I see them all the time out in front of like stores that are going out of business or something, you know, and they kind of, you know,
Well,
it's
I mean,
real
you
tall.
want
with
the-
You don't want the little man.
No, not the man, not the man.
Dennis, really?
But, I mean, you got a point there. You have the banners out along Osage that says open, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Get one that says
genealogy.
genealogy, you know, and maybe have a table or something or display in Red Cedar somewhere.
Not a bad idea, yeah.
something to get attention. Who are the administrators for our Facebook, the Meramec Valley Historical?
Don't look at me.
I am, and Ryan is, and Kelly is.
Can I be added?
Sure, I don't. Yeah, I don't care. It's up to Kelly and Ryan, I guess.
The group is, we are the,
Just keep it, don't.
it would probably be,
Yeah, that's what I was like,
Keep it clean.
keep it
Yeah,
clean.
keep it clean. There you go.
Incorrect.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I would love to be able, I can't wait until I get to retire here in 20 years, whenever I can devote more time to it. But yeah, I like whenever Lisa, I think it was, that posted like every Thursday something. I enjoyed that. And
sentimental
yeah,
day. Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so I enjoyed that, and I wish I had time to do that. But yeah, if Kelly and Ryan are okay with me adding you, I keep trying to find a way to get my name off that thing, but and give it to
No.
Kelly and
You know way too much, though.
We did.
Okay.
so. But yeah,
I don't think we have to have a motion for that or anything.
I
We're fine.
Yeah.
So the first two will go together, the third one will.
And the last thing I'll throw out there on my list is fundraising, I guess, for us. I know that they've done calendars and that kind of thing in the past, but for our group, are we,
Well, by accident.
I don't know that, there was something, I remember something being said about fundraising, and I thought there was some question with the alderman about us doing fundraisers.
About the city doing something that's fundraising?
Yeah, but I don't know.
so we couldn't like sell the calendars or that kind, using
Oh, I
that as
think-
an example,
Yeah.
but
I think we could sell material. It's just that we would have to pay to print or sell advertisement. I don't know how we would do that. But we as a committee, before we had Red Cedar, we did calendars. Jeannie, who was very instrumental in those, her and her mother went around town and sold advertisements to help cover the cost of printing. And they were, very popular. And, I don't, but I know Kelly wouldn't have time to devote to try to develop something.
No.
Somebody would have to take that task on.
You could do that too.
even if it's, in the future, whether it's the calendar for 2025, 2026, whatever, or I'm just trying to forecast a trivia night, a penny drive, whatever it is. What is the
Yeah.
Historical Society doing to fundraise, I guess?
I don't think there's anything put in place at this time.
Yeah.
Kelly has some ideas. We were talking about doing, like memberships and
That's a
different
good
things
one.
like that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but I don't think anything has been put in place.
And what I always remember is that you couldn't sell dues, or you couldn't charge dues because it's part of the government, so you couldn't charge dues. But you could form a Friends of Red Cedar type committee, and then they can do the fundraising and collecting of dues or whatever memberships, and they can turn that over to donate that back to Red Cedar.
That's what
But-
we do at the library. We have friends of the library who help fundraise, and so therefore any of the money then is put into an account, and it's only to be used by our branch. Because each branch has their own friends group. And then it's designated, it can only be used for certain things.
Right.
And that works pretty well for us, so that might be something to consider down the road.
But when it comes to the calendars, I think we could sell those. We just have to probably either, I don't know if we could sell advertisements for them. I'm not sure. But that could be also maybe the job of this new committee of Friends of Red Cedar or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Still need volunteers. I think we should get the volunteers and everything finished first before we go there.
Yeah.
You notice I said you didn't have time to do.
I appreciated that.
We have Bonnie.
I know, she's volunteered for all kinds of stuff.
We have 2 vacancies now, apparently.
Yes, we do.
on our
Yeah,
committee
I
as
know.
Well,
We have-
maybe we shouldn't adjourn,
Donna's
maybe we
last
should just
day
recess this committee, not adjourn it.
Recess the committee.
So this meeting will continue next month.
Sorry.
So
That was good. That was good.
There you go. That's a
I do
good
have
idea.
one, unless Bonnie has anything else, Jim. Do you? No. Do you? If you do, no. But there's something I want to say. But
No, I think that's most of
But
what
you
I
can,
had.
if you have anything else that comes to mind. I just want to say that Donna Graham has submitted her resignation from the committee, effective tonight. I just want to say that that it's been a pleasure working with you. You led this committee for several years during our transition from the Wolf House to Red Cedar. You kept us going. You did, when we weren't sure where we would have a home, you stuck it out. You held the talks at the senior center. You had a big part of where we're at today, and I can't thank you enough. I don't like that you are stepping down, but I understand. I understand. But I just want to say thank you, and don't be a stranger, because we need volunteers.
I knew that was coming.
Yes. Now that you have some more free time, I look forward to seeing you
Well,
more.
It really has been a pleasure working, with everybody, that, all the other volunteers and everything. And of course, so many times Jeff pulled me in off the ledge where I was ready to throw in the towel. But I think we've got a good group of people now. And of course, I said I would stick with it until the museum had a permanent home, and it has one now. And I think with Kelly doing the great job that she's doing now, I think it's only going to get better.
Thank you, Donna. Did you say 16 years? 16?
Yes, since
16 years of service.
2009. when we
Thank
moved
you.
here.
Yep. Thank you very much. Very well said, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff, and Dennis, and
Yep.
Bonnie, and Lori, and everybody.
And everybody.
I've enjoyed working with all of you.
And you guys.
And I'll make the motion to recess.
I'll second it. And
I'm not going to
third.
second that.
All right. Do we have a motion? Next meeting would be July the what? Sorry. July the 10th. Yep. I will be out of town that week.
Do we need to cancel? No.
Yeah, I mean, if you if nobody else can come, I guess you will. But
Yeah, true.
I'm gone that week.
Okay.
So, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Donna, second.
I'll
by
second it.
Bonnie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, that was very nice.